Today I'm going to be playing a Patreon deck from Dr. Mr. Sister Fister. And this appears to be a Reno rogue with some Galakrond stuff as well. The deck seems pretty straightforward. I don't think we really have too many gimmicks. Just Reno Galakrond stuff. But apparently the record with this deck so far is 16-6, so it could be pretty good.
A just cause is always worth fighting for.
Watch your back.
Priest, that's why we play Albatross, right? So we'll keep the Albatross. Could have saved the Pharaoh Cat for next turn to guarantee a target with the Praise Galakrond, but I don't think I need to do that. Reliquary of Souls probably means it's a res deck, right? So the Albatross isn't going to be nearly as good, but it's still okay. Well, there's no way it's a res deck with Nether Spite Historian, so I actually just don't know what's happening. Let's play Albatross, I guess. Could still be Highlander. Probably shouldn't have gone face, because now I can't necessarily Seal Fate. Alright, I can Seal Fate that. Probably oil. Could be nice to try to kill the opponent. So, I mean, if I had to put money on this right now, I would guess that it's Highlander, and I'm even more confident in that at this point. So, I might Shadowcaster this bird. And we'll go ahead and trade off the bird since we're going into Raza. Pretty bad Kazakus. I do kind of want to get this down and dead. Actually, this thing is going to shut off the Zephyrs as well. Let's just go Kartit Defender here. Spend the mana in a decent way. Next turn I can go like Dagger, Albatross, Sharp Sword Oil maybe. Kronks. So as far as Invokers left in the deck, I have Maniac, Shield of Galakrond, and then like Shadow Step. We'll just play a mid Galakrond. Seems fine. In Highlander, I think it's a bit ambitious to go for the full invoke. I've been betrayed by my Albatross. Oh, well, I immediately drew an Albatross, so I guess I'm just that talented. Holy shit. Well, exactly one of these cards does anything. So I guess I'm gonna pick that one. Actually, does this even do anything? You can hit Sap or Coerce.
You think this is your time? It is mine.
Seemed pretty bad. Coerce is a really nice pickup. I guess we'll start making use of this hero power. Witchy Lackey is probably pretty good in my deck. I don't know if I want to waste it here. I have 10 cards in hand, so need to play something before the free Flybooter.
Magic is not a toy.
I see a vision in the flames.
They're just not going to spell burst that this turn? Oh, okay, fair.
Lose these. Darkness wanes.
I can Zeph here, but I don't really need to. Probably want to try to like mind control some big idiot or something.
On wings of evil.
Blackwing seems really good. I do have to miss a hero power to play it at some point, but I think it's significantly better than anything else here. I wasn't really planning to Sharp Sword Oil this, but it's pretty good actually. Not really on this board though, because the minion I get's probably just gonna die. Should have done it before playing one of these. Interesting kill on the 4/9 there. I don't think there's any way that I need 4 weapon charges on this sphere just to draw properly. So hitting with it's fine. I will probably hit with it all 4 times rather than using the effect. But we'll see how it goes. Might just mind control an 8/8 here. Not sure how likely I am to die doing that. If I think I'm gonna die, then I can like hit here, Reno, Shadow or Death. Probably not gonna die though. I'm not dead to like Vel and Mind Blast. And with all this dragon garbage in my opponent's deck, I think they're probably not really playing a finisher. This Alexstrasza is randomly generated. That is okay with me.
We come from far just to see you.
Wow. This copies a card from my deck, right? A spell from my deck? So... Sap? Shadow Step or Backstab? Probably don't want to give the opponent the Shadow Step, that could be kind of sketchy. Let's see, we can hit off the hero power. I don't know if I really need to heal here, but I will. Turn that into an 8-drop. Probably don't really want to. If I play the Lackey here, it's likely to die, and then I'll have to go Hero Power to play Togwaggle. Interesting. But by doing this, I could maybe go like Togwaggle plus the treasure next turn. Interesting.
This timeline amuses me.
So my opponent just put 9 damage in their hand, which means Runaway Blackwing isn't super good here. Well, Kelt's really good. So we're gonna get the wand here. Unfortunate Lackey. We're gonna get wand here, and then next turn is gonna be Polkelt wand, which is really strong. I guess I'll evolve this. Sure. What are the decks looking like? 19 to 13. My opponent still has 3 albatrosses, I think. Deck tracker says they only have 1. Maybe they only have 1. I think they have 3 though. Ouch. Edwin. I'll take Edwin. Mostly just because I don't want to get rid of my 3/1 weapon. I don't think it's that good here.
If power is what you seek, knowledge is what I provide.
I guess I'm just going to play a Kartit Defender here. I don't think I want to commit Alexstrasza. I've seen Soul Mirror already though, and if they Psychic Scream, it's fine.
Darkness wanes.
But if I play Alex, I have to play one of the dragons as well. I probably should get more tempo. Oh, Jesus. This might have been fine to play, but I was so confused. I probably should have played Temporis here. With the Kartit Defender to protect me. And then on my double turn, I could have tried to set up a big Edwin. There's no way it would have been good enough to win the game, though.
I want you, and you, and you.
Beautiful. Where did this lab recruiter even come from? Pickpocket? Oh, I can actually just flick the Shirvala, so that's kind of fine, actually. Sure, whatever. I guess I'm probably playing Temporis here. My opponent's pretty out of stuff.
It is wisdom you lack.
I'll just commit to playing it. I think it's fine. So many dragon lackeys.
On the wings of evil.
Malagos draws Shadow Step, but I'm so deep in my deck I probably don't need to do anything like that.
On wings of evil. On wings of evil.
I really didn't want to take any damage from that since my opponent gets 2 turns here. I think I'm in a good spot though. I have way more value than my opponent right now. And being at 30, there's like no shot they can kill me here.
Secret agent coming through.
Does this take a card that's currently in my deck? So that could find like Leroy with some consistency. Alright, yeah, my opponent's just done. Nice. That was a fun one. So far I'm 3-3 with this deck, so I'm doing okay. But I think there are some changes we can make to the list. The first card I want to cut is the Bloodsail Flybooter. It gives us some little things to combo with, but in general I just feel like it's kind of a weak card. I don't know if this is crazy, but I also kind of want to cut Wand Thief. Like, the card is so good in Standard, but I feel like every time I've played it in Wild, it just gives me so much garbage. Like, maybe that's just low sample size on my part, but this card felt terrible every time I played it. So I'm gonna cut Wand Thief, maybe that's stupid. I also want to cut Elven Minstrel, because I feel like it's a little bit too expensive, it's a little bit hard to combo, and since I did just cut the Flybooter, it's probably even harder to combo. What else is there? Shadowcaster, I think, is another card that's kind of clunky. It does some cool stuff in the deck, but I think we can probably do better. So what cards would I like to include? I think Prize Plunderer is a pretty good card. It's a 1-mana combo minion, so it kind of replaces the Wand Thief. I think it probably just is a more consistent effect, but we'll see about that. Another card I want to play, which actually goes with the Prize Plunderer a bit, is Efficient Octo-bot. This deck does tend to have a lot of cards in hand. We could probably use something to play in the early game, and I think this card is probably as frenzyable in Wild as it is in Standard. Next up, I want to look at Swindle. I cut Elven Minstrel. I think Swindle is pretty much just Elven Minstrel for 2 less mana. Obviously you don't get the 3/2, but I think you care more about the mana costs in this deck. Next up I want to look at Tenwu. I did cut Shadowcaster, and this is a pretty similar effect to Shadowcaster, but being 3 less mana I think is pretty significant. Shadowcaster can do cool stuff like copy Zephyrus, it can copy, you know, Evil Miscreant or Blackies or whatever, but Tenwu could also copy like Reno Jackson, or Kronks, or Togwaggle, or Flick. And it's also just cheaper, so it's much easier to use alongside Evil Miscreant or something like that. Now, obviously it is bounce the minion instead of copy it, but you really care about copying the effect on cards, not so much the bodies themselves, I think. So yeah, I like those changes. I also think, so far I've been pretty interested in like slimming down the deck a bit, but I think I want to play Vile Spine Slayer over Coerce. Maybe this is my 2018 brain talking, but I feel like Vile Spine Slayer is just such a better card, isn't it? Seems like it is. And then speaking of slimming down the deck a bit, I do like what Kartut Defender does, but it's another 6-mana thing that can be pretty awkward with Bulk Help because you want to be drawing into like Reno, and having 5 minions at 6 cost is pretty sketchy. So I think I want to cut Kartut Defender, and there are a few things we could replace it with, but I think I want to try out Death's Head Cultist, mostly because it's new, but I think we do appreciate the healing. This could also be like a Tar Creeper, or you could even go cheaper. This could be like an Armor Vendor or a Mistress of Mixtures, but I think I want to try out the Death's Head Cultist. There are some other things to talk about with this deck, like, do we need burn damage from like Leroy and Eviscerate? Or do we want to go more defensive? Things like that. Do we really need Bad Luck Albatross, depending on the meta? But let's just play the deck as it is for now.
Valir versus Gul'dan. Mine is the only way.
Watch your back.
I don't know what Warlock is, but I think I like Octo-bot. Is it ever Reno Warlock? It's probably fairly likely. I guess I'll just full keep this hand. It's like really sketchy, but since I don't know what I'm up against, all the cards potentially make sense.
Efficient is sufficient.
Kinda sucks to have a 0 mana card in hand with Octo-bot, to be honest. Maybe like that was the reason to not keep it. But if my opponent played Flame Imp this turn, then Backstab was really insane. My opponent's probably supposed to trade here. So I bump with Octo-bot. I can make a pretty damn big Edwin.
So many options.
Dysfunctional. Initiating overdrive. On wings of evil.
These are all kind of terrible, but maybe a taunt will be okay.
The Brotherhood shall prevail.
This Edwin's pretty nutty. If I can combo Eviscerate, I have lethal next turn. Don't have Coil or anything else that deals 1 damage, please. Okay, that was not a very good clear, but it was good enough. Wow, this turn kind of sucks. Can use the Goblin Lackey to combo Vile Spine Slayer. It's not really a great Vile Spine Slayer. We'll just play Polk out.
If power is what you seek, knowledge is what I demand.
So I draw Alexstrasza next turn, which isn't great. But then I draw Galakrond, which draws into 2 6s, which is very strong.
At last, a worthy.
Oh, he drew an Albatross already? That's fucked up.
Armor! Lightly used armor! Here we go.
Good turn from me.
Dark in the sky.
I played Polk Out, so I know it's going to be a while before I find Shield of Galakrond and Seal Fate, so just play it here. I guess I can just make an 8/8. My opponent deals with this, and then I have Alexstrasza next turn. Sure. Somewhat unlucky that this thing survived.
Life and hope.
Probably makes sense to just play for tempo here. Oh, Zeriku's insane. Probably just hold the Azure Drake this turn. Not even sure if I should have played Zeriku. This is definitely more than I would like to play into a Twisting Nether, but if they don't have Twisting Nether, then it's insane. Alright, no Nether.
Your wish is my suggestion.
Shadowward Rune. But that leaves up Zeriku himself. Not sure if that deck can bounce Zephyrus, but I'll kill it just to make sure. I only miss 4 damage. So I have Azure Drake, Vile Spine, Flick, Leroy. That was a nice lethal.
Valera versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer.
Watch your back.
Coin Miscreant's pretty good, especially if this is like Murloc Shaman or something. I'm not really sure if it's justified to keep it off the mulligan, but it's probably fine. Doesn't seem to be much reason to backstab that, since it doesn't even take damage off the board.
Your wish is my
Wait, can this can still get Hungry Crab, right? I don't even know if this is the best use of Zephyrus in the matchup, but I just enjoy Zephyrus into Hungry Crab, given the opportunity. And then I can still go backstab Miscreant next turn. That's an interesting attack. Lets me leave my opponent with no Murlocs in play. Love to see it. This is kind of an interesting turn. I have the Prize Plunderer, the Kobold Lackey. I don't know if I want to use the Prize Plunderer here, though. I might save it for next turn and just use like a dagger to kill this. I think this is fine. I really hate this bug where the -1 stays on the card. Hero power. Does my opponent's hand like double nothing can stop us or something. Well, let's just try to Ed-win the game here. I probably should have just used my dagger and played Draconic Lackey instead of the second Kobold Lackey, but whatever. Either way, I wanted to play 2 lackeys, so Togwaggle could be active next turn. Nice, my opponent got destroyed there. Alright, so my final record with this deck was 7-3. That means I went 4-0 after making the changes to it. And I think I did like the changes. The main one of those I really liked was the efficient Octo-bot. It just did pretty much what I expected it to do. 2-mana Emperor Thaurissan is a good card. I did like the Prize Plunderer as well. Never really got a chance to use Tinwu, but I still like it in theory. And then the sketchiest of the changes I made was Death's Head Cultist, which may or may not have been a good change. I liked the Swindle as well. At this point, I think the only real changes to be made to the deck are meta-dependent. Like, is Bad Luck Albatross really necessary? I didn't play against that much Highlander stuff, but I did play against a little bit. We also have like a bit of a burn package with Eviscerate and Leroy, and then Leroy can be bounced with like Tenwu or Shadow Step. I'm not sure if we need the burn, like Eviscerate's a very cuttable card. Maybe with all the bouncing stuff, Leroy should be kept. But if we're playing all that stuff, then like maybe we are also supposed to be playing Wicked Stab in this deck. Because Wicked Stab is just, you know, another good burn card. But if we care more about surviving than killing our opponent, then we could play Armor Vendor, we could play Mistress of Mixtures. Both of those are pretty reasonable. I think there actually is one more change I want to make. I did include Vile Spine Slayer, but it felt kinda clunky. So maybe I want to cut it. The card I replaced was Coerce, but I don't really feel like I need a Coerce either. So I might just, like, throw a Spy Mistress in this deck. Pretty good 1-drop. Not much to complain about, just keep the curve a little bit lower. Although I guess that's not particularly good with Galakrond or Wondrous Wand, but it's good in the early game. This could also be the Wand Thief, which is kind of a sketchy cut. But yeah, I think the big takeaway from this is you should definitely be playing Efficient Octo-bot in your rogue deck.